maybe I wouldn't even say anything though. Maybe it'd just be an internal thing because I know I'm being crazy,
No,
and also
Maria,
I wouldn't say anything.
Maria, we all know you'd say something. Stop lying to yourself. Hello, welcome back to Sextras,
where we talk about sex and all the extras.
I'm Honey, and when I was 8.5, I wanted my name to be Crystal Caramel Snow. It's such a stripper's
You already knew
name.
you wanted to be a stripper, yeah.
And I also, at another point, wanted my name to be Caramella.
Are you gonna name your child Caramel, and then it's like Honey and Caramel?
Yeah, should I?
Yes.
All my kids' names are like condiments, like Marmite.
Yes.
Mayonnaise.
Hi guys, my name's Maria, and my fun fact is that my most unrelated nickname is Osha, and it's what my dad calls me because when I was little, I don't actually know if it's because I was little, but he used to always be like, basically, I don't know how to explain it. So like in Spanish, to say like really beautiful or like pretty, I don't know, there's not a direct translation. You say like preciosa, and it was like the osha, because I think I couldn't say it, so I think maybe that's how I said it. And then yeah, so my dad calls me that. Really
so cute.
Really interesting there for you.
I have like no good nicknames though, so that's quite cute.
Yeah, but I guess you have quite a good name already, you know, so you don't really need nicknames.
My
name is
like
terrible.
Hanbon.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cutie.
Yeah, I love nicknames. I think they're quite interesting.
Yeah, I love nicknames. I love hearing people's nicknames as well, so I think yours is a good fun fact. Even though I already knew that. This week we're gonna be talking about if you can be friends with your ex.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna just chat about like our thoughts if we're friends with our exes, and like some of our advice about not going straight into being friends with your ex.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not a good idea. But we're gonna start with a little segment where we asked some questions on our Instagram. So, Maria, do you want to start us off?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we wanted to see your guys' general opinion about the topic. So we started asking you, can people be friends with their exes? And 82% of people said yes.
Interesting.
Which I feel like is pretty... I was expecting a more hostile approach, you know?
I was expecting more people to say yes.
Really? I feel 82 is pretty good. I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah,
but
no,
also I thought
good.
It was going to be harsher. That's good though.
I think the results get like steadily worse.
Yeah, okay, hit us with the next question.
So then we asked, are you friends with any of your exes? And 58% of people said yes. So it's like, okay, well you can, but not as many people are.
Yeah, people aren't practicing what they preach.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess that sort of shows that it's like, yeah, in theory, like, I feel like a lot of people agree that in theory and, like, in a lot of circumstances, yes, but in practice, it doesn't really happen a lot. Like, that circumstance doesn't happen that often, you know, that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we asked, like, getting into more juicy shit. Would you be okay with your significant other being friends with their ex? And this one has dropped, 74% of people said yes.
I'm actually quite surprised that 74% of people said yes, because like of all the people that I know for a fact 74% of them wouldn't be okay with it.
I feel like a lot of people voted being like, I mean, of course, like, yeah,
Like,
but
if I
really...
have to be okay with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, realistically, are they? No, they're not.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like what I wanted to vote. I think I did vote no in the end, in our own poll, but...
Yeah. And then the last one was, would your or does your significant other care if you're friends with your ex? And 44% of people said yes. So again, a bit of contradiction going on here, guys. I mean, obviously it's so hard to really know unless you're actually confronted with that situation, because you could be like, yeah, be so chill about it, and then like, when you hear them talking about them being friends with their ex, you're like, what the fuck are you saying to me right now?
But it's also kind of interesting that 74% of people said they'd be okay with their boyfriend or girlfriend being friends with their ex, but 44% of people say that they don't think that their boyfriend or girlfriend would be okay with them being friends with their ex. So there seems to be a little bit of an unbalance.
Yeah, a little bit. But I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's just kind of like one of those things that you have to experience. So I understand why people think that, but we know you're lying now. We know all your secrets. Anyway, should we move on to our thoughts?
Yeah, let's get into our thoughts. So, Hun, what do you think? Can you be friends with an ex? Are you friends with any of your exes?
Yeah, I think you can be friends with your ex. I am friends with my ex, and I think it's difficult to be friends at first, but I definitely think it kind of helps ease the transition from breaking up to life after you break up.
Oh my god, this is quite interesting actually. We can get a perspective from like the person that did the breakup to the person that was broken up with, kind of thing, and like how you're saying like I think it was helpful for you in the transition, but I'm like I think it was so not helpful for me to be friends right after the breakup. But we can get into that. Sorry to interrupt, but interesting angle. Carry on.
I get you. Well, I think for my relationship it was kind of different because we weren't really broken up straight away when we broke up. There was a long time where it was kind of in between. We weren't officially dating, but we were still I guess seeing each other, and we obviously still loved each other. But that was kind of difficult for me actually, because I wanted to know that she was okay and look after her. But probably having her in my life wasn't the best thing to be doing at that stage. But it was just because I was worried about her that I kind of wanted to stay friends. Not that I wouldn't have wanted to stay friends, but I just don't think it was right to at that moment. And we are friends now, and like we are actually friends. It's very different because so much has happened. It was a very long time ago as well. It was like 3 years, so it's kind of had time to change the nature of our relationship, and now we can be actual friends, and it's just nice to know what's going on in each other's lives, and like we keep each other up to date. But well, I guess from the perspective of being broken up with, then tell us what you think about being friends with an ex.
Well, I remember when my ex and I were breaking up, and I even had this thought kind of recently that if me and my boyfriend break up, I'm like, I can't bear the thought of not having him in my life. Like, it's fine if we're not together, but it's like, we're best friends, you know? It's kind of
Yeah.
weird. And that's how I felt with my ex. And I was like, okay, yeah. And then when we broke up, like, I remember we walked into the cafe at school, and after, it was like at lunchtime, and it was at the end of lunch, and we walked in and we're like, we just broke up. And like, it was so chill, and everyone was like, what?
Yeah, I remember that. I was like, is this a joke?
Yeah, because we had literally like talked and been like, yeah, it's fine, we're still gonna be friends. Because also the terms of our breakup, like, it was a two-girl relationship, and she was telling me she was not a homosexual in any way, shape, or form. So, sort of like the terms of that breakup made it so that in my head, I think I used that also as an excuse a lot of the time, and like, oh, it can never happen, so it's fine. Like, you know, it's like there's that barrier, so that's like, I was like, that allows us to be friends straight away, because it's not like we don't love each other, but obviously, like, it doesn't work like that, because we're not like, we weren't together, and it didn't really give
And
me
you couldn't
time.
be together.
I don't know, it just like didn't give me time to sort of like get over her, and I don't know, I
Yeah.
was still obviously in love with her, and then even though we did like have a little bit of distance or whatever, it just wasn't enough. Like, I was still trying to talk to her all the time, and I like, we hung out all the time as well, and like really intimately and weirdly, because we obviously had this weird fucking relationship. And then
Yeah.
we still like kept sleeping together, like after a while we started sleeping together, because I was like, oh, I'm so over it. And like, remember how I would be like, yeah, no, I'm so over her, like, we're just friends, like, we're just
Yeah. But
um
obviously everyone knew that that wasn't the case,
yeah.
including her.
So I think that's like where a lot of the exes can never be friends stigma comes from. And like, I think it's kind of sad, like, it makes me sad that people are so like against it and are like, yeah, it can definitely never happen, and like, the relationship can never be platonic and blah blah blah, because it's like, you
Yeah.
shed this really like deep bond with someone, and they've really impacted your life. And I know that
Hmm.
I I liked my ex, and I liked my boyfriend now, and I liked a lot of the people that I'm like had things with or slept with or whatever, that I'm still friends now, before any of that happened. So
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's just kind of like such a waste, because it's so rare to find someone that you have such a spark with. Albeit romantic or whatever, you know?
No, yeah. I think it's difficult to be friends straight away if you're not both on the same page. Like, if it's not a mutual breakup, or if it's not, you both have lost feelings for each other, or you both know it's not the right time. Because if one person feels really strongly about someone still, or even if both of you still feel really strongly about each other, I don't think it can work, because it doesn't provide enough of a difference between a relationship and a
Yeah.
friendship.
And I think in those situations, there's also like a power struggle, like a
Yeah,
weird fucking
exactly.
power struggle. Because I that was like completely the case with me and my ex as well. I think we got into this weird fucking toxic routine in which she knew I was in love with her, and I knew I was in love with her, and I would do anything. And like, you know, it was just sort of this one-way street kind of thing. But like, we both, I'm not like blaming her and saying she did a horrible thing or whatever, or she was doing it consciously. I think like it just puts people in this weird like power dynamic that it turns kind of ugly, I think, sometimes, if it's
Yeah,
not like a mutual
definitely.
breakup.
Yeah, and I think the problem with my situation with my ex was that we had broken up a few times before and then gone back together. So I think then staying friends, even though it was a lot longer period, it was like a year versus a couple of weeks or 1 week or whatever.
Mm.
I think that kind of didn't help either of us, because we weren't able to make the distinction in our minds, and also because we were still at school and we would see each other every day. I think that kind of contributed to that. Whereas now I think going through a breakup wouldn't be so similar, because you don't have to see someone every day unless you live with them. So it's not as easy to fall into old habits, I don't think. But I definitely am on the pro staying friends with your ex side, because I think even if it, I don't know, because I do really like the idea of just being able to be civil with someone. I don't think there's any reason to have to lose someone from your life completely. And maybe you'll have to not speak for a bit and you have to set boundaries about that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, do you think if it is a mutual breakup, because you were saying, do you think you can be friends straight away? Because I kind of think that with any breakup, even if it is mutual and very amicable and stuff, and okay, let's say if you have children and all of this, I'm not gonna get into that. Obviously, that's like complicated shit I can't like get into, you know.
Yeah.
But do you think that if like it is a mutual breakup and shit, you can be friends straight away?
Yeah, I definitely think that it's a possibility. And I think I actually listened to a podcast recently where this, I think she was 24-year-old woman, was telling a story of how she and her boyfriend lived together. And then during quarantine, they broke up, but they carried on living together, obviously, because it was during quarantine. But they would they were both talking to other people, but they lived together and they just stayed friends. And then she moved to another city and he helped her move and they were friends, and it was all very platonic, and they still text, and it's like,
oh yeah, I've heard people
that just as friends.
Mm.
So I do think it's possible, but I think it's a very specific circumstance where you're both able to really know what's going on. Like, you both put all your cards on the table. It's not like, oh, maybe we're gonna get back together. Someone's hoping that and the other person's thinking, definitely it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel like that's also in situations where maybe the grieving or like the relationship, or I don't know, the breakup, like you both kind of saw it coming as like an incoming thing, or like a falling out of love situation, I guess. Yeah, I kind of thought maybe under no circumstances could you be friends straight away, because I think I have a little bit of trauma, you know, but like I do see that.
Yeah, no, but I get you. I would not recommend staying friends with your ex in either of the ways that we did it. Like, especially if you're in a relationship where it was not like a
Completely
good breakup.
healthy.
Yeah, and it wasn't a healthy relationship, you know. I would definitely not recommend at all. Never a good idea. It's just asking for more trouble. So once you break up, you have to be strong enough to like actually say goodbye, which is the hardest part of a breakup, I think.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think a lot of the time the friendship or like wanting to stay friends comes from not wanting to let go, and I think you just have to be able to sort of tell those things apart. And I think when you let go is like when you actually can be friends. Because just like a funny thing, like I literally distinctly remember like the feeling like when I was lying and saying how like, oh yeah, we're friends, even though I knew I like we were like not friends, you know, because you can't really be friends with someone you're in love with that doesn't love you back. But I remember like distinctly when I just finally felt that like, oh, we actually are friends. Like I don't it's not the same now. Like you feel it and you know.
Yeah.
And I just feel like a lot of the time it's not like I was like purposely trying to lie to myself or trying to be self-destructive, but I think because you're so like in this like not wanting to let go and infatuation with this person or like obsession with this person, or I don't know, just this not wanting to let go kind of feeling. So I do
remember it too. I remember so clearly the switch between them, because there were so many moments where I think you want to convince yourself that you're friends, but you're not. You're just really not friends. And there's, as you said, it's like a weird power play, and also it just feels really wrong. I just remember the feeling of being like, I don't like this at all, and it would make me really anxious. But it was a tricky situation to kind of be like, okay, no, we can't be friends at all.
Yeah,
because I think I had already set that precedent of we were gonna be friends. And then I think we went through a period, it was when I went to uni, where we didn't see each other for ages, and then that finally gave us the distance, and I was like, I'm living a different life now. Like, I live in a different city. We can't be talking all the time, and I'm not gonna engage in this in the same way as before. That finally gave me the perspective to be like, okay, wow, this is so different. Like, we definitely weren't just friends before, or in my mind we were friends, but I don't know if she necessarily thought that at the time, or I thought that there was a weird imbalance, so I didn't enjoy that. But yeah, I remember that so clearly. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I think it's so nice now that we are both able to be friends with our exes. And obviously when you first go through a breakup, it seems like you're never going to get to that stage. And it would never even be a possibility. But as you said, it's someone that you shared so much of yourself with and so much of your life with, that even if it is just platonic now, you kind of both have this experience that you went through together that no one can really understand. So I think it can provide a really nice basis for a friendship.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I also don't think that there's any pressure in, like, I know we said it's like such a nice thing and whatever, but it's not like me and my ex are like besties and, you know, like talking all the time. It's just nice to know that it's not like a stranger, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Like, you can still know what's going on in their lives.
Yeah, if I
know
wanted
that they're
to.
okay.
If I say
yeah, exactly.
What about kind of different, but what about like sex with your ex? Do you think that's a good idea? What do you
Sex with your ex?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of the same thing. Like, don't be doing it straight away, but I think it can definitely happen after a while if you both know you don't have feelings. But again, I think it's just too much of a slippery slope. Like, we talked about it in the Friends with Benefits episode. I think if it gets too regular, or you kind of rely on the person to have sex with them, then what is actually the difference of being in a relationship? I don't know. I can't say I would sit here and tell you to go and have sex with your ex, but yeah, whatever you need to do.
Yeah. I think it's so enticing because I also really distinctly remember me and my ex started sleeping together because, like, one night we just started talking about how, like, I think we had both been with other people at that point because we were each other's first and shit, but I think we'd both been with other people and, like, she'd been with guys. And she was, like, telling me how she just wasn't coming with them and, like, all of this shit. And it's just, like, it's obviously so inviting because you know you have, like, fucking amazing sex with that person. Or, like, maybe you don't, but, like, at least you know that they know what to do, you know?
Yeah, well, if you're not having good sex with your ex, don't have sex with them. I think that's quite simple.
Yeah, but no,
just don't. There's no
point.
People
just do it for, like, the toxicness, you know?
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, obviously we're not promoting that. But I get what you're saying. Like, they do know your body so well, and they know.
But I do think it can be kind of fucked sometimes. Like, even if you think that you're over them, like, sometimes I am a sex is sex kind of person. I'm not like sex is everything, but I do think, like, sometimes it can, like, bring shit up, you know?
Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
Like, I feel like it's kind of a scary one. Like, I feel like it's one that you can do, like, once a year, you know? Like, or, like, for a little treat, but I don't think... Yeah, like, I don't think you should be doing it regularly. Maybe even once a year is too much.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have sex with my ex now. Like, I just wouldn't.
Oh my god, neither would I. Goodness. That actually...
The thought of it is, like... Sorry, no offense. I know you're probably listening, but I'm sure
you're
that
both
she feels
banging
the same
girls.
way. Yeah, it's just weird. Okay, well then, what do you think about your boyfriend being friends with his ex?
Oh god. Well, okay. basically, I'm literally friends with all the people that, as I have said it like a gajillion times, I'm friends with so many people I've like slept with, whatever. And my boyfriend does not care, like, could not care less. Like, if I had a little sleepover with my ex, couldn't care. Actually, but I don't
Really?
know. Like, if there were other people there, I don't think he'd care. But if it was just me, that's a bit weird. There's no need.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would not be okay with that.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I don't
not.
know. Yeah, literally, my boyfriend, least jealous person ever, doesn't care. Like, he's just not. I don't know. He doesn't care, and I
But
have
I
like a
don't
lot of people.
understand.
I have like people he could be jealous of, because I actually like have dated other people, but he's only had one girlfriend before me. And it was like a long term
Yeah.
thing. So he only has one ex, but it's like one deep ex, I guess I have one deep ex too, but nah, he just can't be friends. I'm sorry, he just can't be friends with her.
Yeah, no, but there's definitely a difference between like the ex, like the deep ex, and just other exes.
Of course. Yeah, no, that's true. But I still don't think, even if he had like little like just girls he fucked, I just don't think I would allow it. I mean, I'm not gonna say not allowing it, because obviously he's a free man, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. But it would kind of not be like a
It
great
wouldn't go
thing.
down well.
No, not. But maybe I wouldn't even say anything though. Maybe it'd just be an internal thing, because I know I'm being crazy,
No,
and also I
Maria,
wouldn't say anything.
Maria, we all know you'd say something. Stop lying to yourself.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would say something.
No, but to be
I'd
fair,
like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
no, but to be fair, if they had been friends beforehand, like I met him and they were already friends and I like knew the situation, blah blah blah, different story. But if he just like decided to start becoming friends with her now, absolutely 0% no. I get a little like fucking pain in my belly when he like even mentions her name, or like oh my god, like my biggest fear is that she'll be at a party that he's at.
Oh my god, I feel you. Literally this one time when me and my boyfriend started dating, his cousin's friend or something was coming to visit him, or they were going to go to a concert together because she lived nearby and she was going to the same concert as him, and she needed somewhere to stay. So he was like, oh, well, you can stay at mine. And he told me, and I was like, oh, cool. So what, she's gonna like sleep on the floor? He was like, no. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, like she's gonna sleep in my bed. I was like,
No.
and also he has a single bed. I was like, are you being serious right now? How would you feel if I just got like a random guy to come sleep in my bed? And I was like, no, but like it's not like that. He's like, okay, yeah, I see it now. And it was fine. She didn't end up actually staying, but I was like, really?
But wait, you haven't said, what do you think about your significant other being friends with their exes?
I don't think I would mind, to be honest. Like if they, yeah, as you said, if they were friends before we met, I really wouldn't care. And like the same with someone they had slept with, if neither of them had feelings at all and they knew that, I would be like, yeah, that's completely fine.
Yeah.
But I can think of like one specific example of someone that like my boyfriend slept with, and then it was like obvious that she still had feelings for him. If he was friends with her, I would be like, no, absolutely not, because that's just like...
Yeah, I guess it depends on the
friends
person,
with
yeah, of
someone.
course, on the relationship.
And also, because I'm friends with my ex, I don't think I really have a right to be like, okay, but you can't be friends with your ex. Like, I don't think I would mind. I really wouldn't mind, that's the thing. I would kind of want them to be friends with their ex, because I think sometimes you hold on to loads of resentment, and I think it might be like a good way to get rid of that resentment. So I would maybe promote, like I would encourage them to be friends with them rather than to hate them, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to force my significant other to be best friends with their ex, or to even be friends with them. I would just be like, well, maybe it could help you to kind of reframe it, because I don't want to, like, I'm not the kind of person that's like trying to cut people out of my life like left, right and center, I'm just not an advocate of that. And I wouldn't encourage anyone else to do that either. I think it's always nice to just be civil with everyone. Even, you don't have to be friends, you just have to, like, be civil with them and get on with them.
The more the merrier.
But I do understand that sometimes that is also not possible. Like, sometimes
Yeah.
people just clash, and it's no one's fault. I wouldn't be angry, but I would want to know. Like, if I found out that they were friends and I hadn't known before, that would really grind. Wait, what is it you said? Grind my groin.
Yeah.
Wait, what is the actual saying? Grind my gears.
I don't know, is it?
I don't know, it's definitely not grind my groins though. But yeah, that would really, like, irk me.
Oh god, I'm realizing how much of a hypocrite I am, because, like, I'm just thinking, like, people I've slept with, like, if my boyfriend was doing the same things, like talking to them and stuff, no, but genuine realization, like, what the fuck am I gonna do if I meet someone and they've slept with people? Like,
okay, no, but this is the thing. This is a really important thing that I want to highlight, actually. Something that I've learned is, like, really, really vital to a relationship is respecting the fact that both of you have had lives before you met each other.
yes, of course.
Like, it helps with how you think about their friends. You know how that sometimes there's, like, jealousy between friends and significant others. It helps with that. Knowing that, and it helps with family. It helps with not, like, torturing yourself about the idea of that they've slept with other people apart from you. Of course they have. And, like, thank God that they have it, so that they're so good
Yeah,
now.
no, of course.
They can be good when they sleep with you. Like,
I agree. I definitely
we should
agree.
be thanking, like, our significant others' exes for getting them to the place where they're in now. It's like practice.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
yeah, I think it's really hard. I get it's so hard. Like, if I think of someone that, like, my boyfriend slept with, I'm like, no, ew. Like, I get the little pain in your stomach, like a little, like, stab anytime someone mentions a name. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
But you can surpass that. You really can.
Yeah, no, of
And-
course.
Like, I don't want my significant other to be annoyed at me for, like, being friends with someone I've slept with, because, yeah, I also think sex is just sex. It literally doesn't mean anything. I've slept with people and I have no feelings for them whatsoever. Never think of them. And we can still be friends, so...
Yeah. I was just gonna say, you know what? There's people that I've slept with, or, like, not strict exes or whatever, that I just personally have been, like, drawn that boundary, and, like, I'm just not friends with or whatever, because I'm out of quote unquote respect for my boyfriend or whatever, you know, just because I don't want to be, like, crossing a line. But I feel like, I don't know, like, that's kind of bad, surely, because then it's, like, subconsciously, like, I know that I need to cross that line.
You know that you have the potential to cross that
Yeah,
line.
sorry, that I need to make
And
that
you also
line.
know that you shouldn't have even been seeing those people in the first place.
Like, I think also we as people, like, know each other, so I think this whole jealousy and stuff, I think you can tell when when, like, someone is just a friend or if it's something else. And I think, at least if you can't see it in your partner, at least you know it in yourself. So I think the least you can do in a way is, like, okay, I know that, like, maybe there's, like, a line that needs to be crossed between me and this person, because maybe it's, like, a little bit weird, and maybe it's like, maybe I could, like, do something, you know? And maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's just, you know, what's, like, a friendship and what is, like, not exactly that. And
Yeah, like, you have good intuition.
yeah, and I think that as long as you're, like, trying to be honest or whatever, because the person that I was talking about is, like, it's the person I cheated on my boyfriend with, you know? And it's that kind of thing of like, even if it's not a line that I know I would ever cross, like I don't think I ever would, you know, there's other circumstances that go along with that as well, but it's not a line I would ever cross again. I think it's more like, okay, this is a very different situation. This is not really someone that in the narrative of this story right now maybe is someone that I should be friends with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think also if someone really bugs your partner so much, then you should be able to be like, okay, but my partner is more important. And not that I'm thinking you should have to cut people out for your partner, but if they're super uncomfortable, like I would want my partner to give me the benefit of the doubt and like maybe even hang out with us just so they know, like they can see with their own eyes, okay, this is what this relationship is. It is literally just a friendship and nothing more, and I trust my partner and I can see that, and then make a judgment. But if it's like all that happens and it's just like they have even a doubt in their minds that they can't get rid of, you should be able to step back and be like, okay, but this is more important.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to say. It's like, I think just assess each relationship. Like, what if your partner's like, oh, this relationship that you have with this coworker is really bothering me, and then you're getting all pissy because you're like, oh, you shouldn't make me choose or whatever, cut people out. But it's like, okay, how important is this relationship with my coworker? And how important is
don't
like
don't
the
have to
issue?
like change jobs.
Yeah, no, of course, no.
Like...
But like, sorry, bad example. But I was
no, but I get what you're saying. Like within reason.
Yeah.
You don't have to be seeing them more than you have to, like at work or anything like that. I have an example of this guy that I used to sleep with. Every 6 months, maybe, before I met my boyfriend, would text me being like, hey, what's up? And then I would just reply like whatever I wanted. Like, oh, I'm good, how are you? Sometimes we would have a very short conversation and then that would be it. Or sometimes he would be like, oh, do you want to come over? And then when I was single, I would go over sometimes. But then after I met my boyfriend, like 6 months after, because as I said, this would happen like once every 6 months, he messaged me like one time, maybe a couple of times, I can't remember, like literally maybe once or twice. And he was like, oh, hey, like, what's up? And I was like, hey, I'm good, how are you? And then he was literally like, oh, I'm good. And then that was the end of the conversation. And then another time it happened and he was like, oh, what are you up to? Kind of like, you know how guys will ask that and you know where it's going. And I was just like, oh, just talking to my boyfriend. And then he was like, cool. And then he never messaged me again. But anyway, then me and my boyfriend were talking about it this one time and he was like, okay, but why don't you block him if he messages you saying that? And I'm like, okay, but I'm not gonna block him because it's not like we talk all the time. It's literally once every 6 months and it will just be like a, hey, it's not like a, yo, send me nudes right now. And also this person is someone that I have mutual friends with and I'm not gonna block him because I think that's unnecessary. And it just takes my partner to be like, okay, yeah, I trust that you're not like texting this guy all the time, which I'm not, for that doubt to be erased, or like it takes me reassuring him that it's not like that, you know, because I also wouldn't want to keep someone that would message me all the time asking me for nudes or like asking me to go over, because I wouldn't be comfortable with that if I'm in a relationship. Like, I think you know in yourself what's right, you know what your partner wouldn't be comfortable with. Because I think also you can know is like, sorry, this is kind of getting into a different like cheating conversation, but you can know like what you would tell your partner. Like, would you tell them you're speaking to this person, or would that make them jealous or annoyed? And then if you wouldn't tell them, then don't do it.
Exactly.
And I think it's just important to be upfront about things, because then it's not like they're finding out and then they get suspicious. Like, if there's really nothing to hide, you can tell them. And it's not an issue in any way.
Is there anything else that you want to say?
Staying friends with an ex. ex. Yeah, I just think that there's so much negativity around the idea of, oh my god, you messaged your ex last night. Like, why did you do that? But I think everyone should be friends with their exes if you can do it in a civilized, platonic way. There's no reason, like, you don't have to be best friends. You really don't have to be. Maybe just text each other like every few months to check in. That's what me and my ex do. Like, we rarely ever talk, but sometimes we talk, and then sometimes we're like, oh, should we go for a coffee or something? And then we catch up.
Yeah.
Which obviously hasn't happened in like a year. So like the entirety of my relationship. But yeah, if you can avoid having to resent someone for the rest of your life, then I think you should choose that path.
Yeah. And to be fair, I also think equally, if you just don't want to be friends with them for some reason or other, like, just don't. Just because they were your ex and meant something to you once, even though we're saying, like, that's a reason to be friends with someone, it also doesn't need to mean shit, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that was a period of your life and it was great, or it was shit, or whatever. But that's that. And
yeah, like,
you can
I
just
think
choose to
either
move
way,
on.
you don't have to force it. You know, if you know in your mind you want to be friends with them, just do it. But if you don't want to be friends with them, don't be like messaging them because you feel like you have to, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And actually, just one more thing I thought of. I literally just remembered that around the time that it was like kind of when me and my ex broke up, and like a little bit after that, and we were still quite close. And I remember I like started talking to people like on Tinder and stuff, and I literally remember telling this guy that I was like trying to date that if he was not okay with me and my ex being like really, really close friends, like, then it's a no deal. And I was just kind of like, and I remember having a conversation with her about how, like, if anyone's not okay with it, then we're not okay with them, you know? Which is fucking insanity. And I feel like if you're kind of wanting to keep a friend in that way, like, as in an ex as a friend in that way, it's like, maybe that's telling you something about how you feel. Like, you obviously, like, you're still in love with the person, because otherwise you would be like willing to meet new people and shit. But
yeah, that's so true.
I just thought that was actually quite funny that I genuinely said that to someone and he still like wanted to date me. Like, what the fuck?
True. That's quite funny.
But yeah,
things we do.
Goodness gracious. But yeah, go be friends with your ex. It's cool, but also hate them if they were horrible to you. Who cares? Just live your
Don't be
life.
friends with them if you just aren't compatible as people.
Exactly.
And you can't move past what happened in your relationship. There's no point.
Exactly.
But yeah, we hope you guys learn a little bit from this. Maybe you are reconsidering where you are if you recently went through a breakup with someone and you're like, yeah, but we're friends. No, you're not. You love them.
You're addicted to that dick.
Yeah. But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed. We hope you're gonna go leave us an amazing 5-star review right now. You're gonna share us with everyone you know. You're gonna get us into the charts, and you're manifesting us getting into the charts as well, because I'm learning about manifestation as per my promise.
Yeah, and you guys can follow us on Instagram at sextwistpodcast. Email us at sextwistpodcast@gmail.com. Our Facebook is also Sextwist Podcast. We're Sextwist Podcast everywhere. Visit our website, which is sextwistpodcast.com. And yeah, go and have a great week, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
You've been listening to Sextras, presented by Honey Jane Wyatt and Maria Jose Hayodatiyi, produced by Mabel Productions.